or Davis as I call him, we worked at the same school together. And we worked together for 3 years before we actually even exchanged names or anything like that. I was moved to the all-boys community as the learning community assistant, and he was the 9th grade biology teacher.
We actually worked together for a couple of years before we actually worked together. So I guess from working in such close quarters, we worked on the same community 1 year, high school boys, I think it was. So I guess from working in such close quarters, we, struck a friendship. From that friendship, you see where it led to.
My name is Lettucey in the music. My name is Lettucey in the music.
Well, Davis and I had 2 first dates. One first date was unofficial. We went to El Pollo Loco, and that wasn't really a date. But that was the first time that him and I were alone together, because I've always had my son around when we interacted. So that was the first time that him and I were alone.
Our first date, I think our first date was at a seafood restaurant in Austell named Bay Breeze, I believe it was. I don't know. I think she probably had some type of platter, a little too much from what she would probably normally eat. But I don't know, probably just a whole lot of conversation, a whole lot of getting to know each other, question and answer or whatnot. But I think it was at Bay Breeze in Austell, seafood.
Davis and I spent the whole summer together. I dropped my son off in California like I always do for the summertime, and we just call that like our cocooning period. We just sat around the house, really got to know each other, did different activities together. So we had the whole summer to really just learn one another.
Got me daydreaming, thinking about dreams. Got me daydreaming.
When I first saw Mr. Davis, I was like, dang, he looked good. However, it was something about him that made me be like, I didn't like him. I just looked like he was arrogant. He always wore those shades, and I'm like, why is he wearing shades in the building? There's no sun in here. So I always thought that he was just this cocky, arrogant guy, and that's totally not him. So I was wrong.
First time I saw her, it was such a long time ago. I don't really remember what I thought. I guess when we first started working closely together, I thought she was kind of loud. That's what I thought. I thought she was a little loud, for that small frame. So it was kind of confusing to me, but that was probably my first thought, this little bitty girl with that loud voice.
One of my favorite things about Davis is that he really does cater to me. I know I asked him to do a lot of things that he does not want to do. Example, go to all the different functions that I have, all the parties that I have, but he's always there. He always has, well, I can't say a smile on his face, but he always finds his niche no matter where it is that I ask him to go with me, and he never shows me that he doesn't want to be there. I know he doesn't want to be there a lot of the times because I just know him, and a lot of things that I do, the girly things that I do, he doesn't like to be involved in, but he never shows me that. So just him always catering to me, always being there whenever I need him. That's what I can say is the best characteristic about Davis.
Once I got to know her, I still thought she was loud. But I actually realized how much of a caring person she was. I also thought she was very selfish at first. Everything always centered around her. But once I got to know her, I really realized how much of a giving person she was, how much of a compassionate person she was, and how much of herself she gave to the ones that she loved and she surrounded herself with.
The relationship has been perfect ever since we started dating.
Proposal. I proposed to her. Actually, she was trying to give me an ultimatum. She didn't say she did, or she kept bringing it up saying she would. And she also tried to give me the date that she wanted me to propose on. It was somewhere around Valentine's Day. I think it was Valentine's Day. So I came up with this plan where I was surprised, and I was gonna propose to her anyway, but I didn't want to tell her that. So in the days leading up to Valentine's Day, I had already made my preparations, had gotten the ring, whatnot. And she actually has a bad habit coming into my house talking on the cell phone. So that actually helped in my plan. So I planned for her to walk into my house on that cell phone, not knowing, not paying attention to what was going on around her.
I walked in the house on the phone, which he hates that I do. So I walked in the house, me and Bryant. Bryant stays downstairs. I go upstairs. I'm talking on the phone to my mom. I open up the door to his room, and I see a teddy bear, 12 dozen roses, and a card that said, "Will you marry me?" And I was on the phone with my mom, and I just was like, "Oh my God, that is just so sweet." And I just kept saying, "Oh my God, oh my God." And my mom, being the nervous person that she is, says, "Tiwanna, what's wrong? Tiwanna, what's wrong? Tiwanna, what's wrong? Talk to me." And I was like, "Davis just said, 'Will you marry me?' That's just so sweet." I'm not putting two and two together that he's asking me to marry him.
You know, I followed closely behind her, whatnot. So she just walked in the room, walked in on the setup, saw the ring, and by the time she turned around, I was standing there and asked her, would she marry me?
And says, "So will you?" And I said, "Well, will you what?" And he was like, "Well, will you marry me?" And I just started screaming and crying. And I said, "Of course I would."
You are the most wonderful thing in
The relationship between Brian and Davis is awesome. That's the one thing that really sealed the deal, that really made me say that this is the guy that I would want to, one, bring home to meet my parents, and two, to be a co-parent with me as I raise my son.
Being in the profession that I'm in, I see a lot of young black boys and the way they get turned to the side because they don't have a male figure in their life. So I wasn't really looking for that situation, but I sort of fell into it. And for me, it was just, it seemed like everything I went through when I was younger just taught me, you know, a lot about the situation that we're in now. So it was big for me. I just, you know, get the chance to do the same thing that my dad did for me.
They interact so well together. They just have such a fun relationship. Those are my two boys. I love it.
Got me daydreaming, thinking about things. Got me daydreaming.
It's been 3 years in the making. A lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of ups and downs, but we stood strong and we made it. I'm definitely glad and proud that you decided to become Mrs. Davis, and I just look forward to a lifetime of happiness with you and all of our kids. Love it.
Bae, I love you so much. Words just cannot express how much I love you. I want to thank you so much for supporting me in my professional life, my personal life, my education, helping me raise my handsome son, our handsome son. And I just look forward to building the future with you.
And I'm doing it for us. Do it 'cause I'm grateful. Willing and able. Do it for you 'cause you do it for me.
Got me daydreaming, thinking about things and switching up my whole lifestyle. I call you on the phone